Front and Center. Front and Center. A focus on important and significant developments affecting the lives of Filipinos, not only in the Philippines, but also those living and working around the world. Join us in Front and Center. Front and Center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Welcome to Front and Center, where we focus on developments in the Philippines, legislation that provides policies and directions that strives to promote a better economy for the country, issues that concern the welfare and well-being of every Filipino. All of these and more will be Front and Center. You can watch this program live on our Facebook page. That's Radyo Pilipinas World Service. You can also hear us live on audio streaming at Evox PBS receiver app. So join us for another edition of Front and Center with your host, Jerome Toledo.
Front and Center. Front and Center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
And today, the House of Representatives will kick off the review and deliberation on the 6.793 trillion peso National Expenditure Program, or NEP. That is today, August 18, and it aims to finish the deliberations by October 10. Originally, the House of Representatives scheduled deliberations to begin on September 1, but with the early submission of the NEP, which was submitted to the President and to the Congress and Senate last Wednesday, August 13, the budget review process starts earlier. And House Committee on Appropriations will spearhead the review and deliberation of the budget as part of its mandate. Nueva Ecija Representative Micaela Angela Suansing said that they will do their best to finish the budget review and deliberation on time before they transmit the document to the Senate after October 10 for another round of deliberation, which afterwards it will be bicameral conference committee will convene after the Senate approves the National Expenditure Program, or as we know it, the General Appropriations Bill. And after that, after the bicameral conference, after it was approved, it will be transmitted to the President for his review and possibly for a veto for provisions that he does not like to be approved. And once the President made his task on reviewing and vetoing the budget, he will now decide to sign the budget for the next year. And if you can recall, President Marcos Jr. said in his State of the Nation address last 3 weeks ago that he will strictly review the budget for the next year. And if he found the budget to be misaligned or does not align with the visions and the priorities of the national government, he is willing not to sign it, and he will see himself, particularly the government, on a reenacted budget. So that's what President Marcos Jr. said during his State of the Nation address in last July, or 3 weeks ago. And Representative Swansing listed the reforms the House shall implement in the budget review, such as the abolition of the small committee, as well as the move towards an open bicameral and the engagement with civil society organizations, or CSOs, in the committee deliberations. Representative Swansing explained that that proposal on scrapping the practice of organizing small committee to deliberate on institutional amendments, as navigating proposed amendments in the budget process for the House is always very complicated, and that's what Representative Swansing wants to address. And there are many departments, many agencies who advocate for for changes to their budget, but at the same time, they have to navigate through more than 300 representatives or congressmen. And to make things simpler, Representatives Swan Singh proposed the creation of a subcommittee on budget amendments review, which will be formed within the Committee on Appropriations, which will be composed of the following officials. Number one, that's a senior vice chairperson or a vice chairperson of the Committee on Appropriations who will lead discussions. And number two, a member of a member nominated by each political party and the partyless coalition members nominated by the minority. And as for the open budget process, the House of Representatives has adopted House Resolution number 94, which seeks to institutionalize the participation of the civil society organizations, as we mentioned earlier, as non-voting observers in the budget deliberations of the House Appropriations Committee. And also, at the upper chamber at the Senate, they unanimously supported the HOR's call to open bicameral conference committee meetings during the crafting of the national budget for the next year. And Senator Sherwin Gatchalian, which he chairs the Senate Committee on Finance, said the Senate has unanimously signed and filed Senate Concurrent Resolution number 4 that seeks to fortify the national budget process by institutionalizing strict transparency and accountability measures to ensure that the public fund is protected, properly spent, and aligned with the country's true priorities. And the concurrent resolution also mandates the uploading of all budget-related documents on the Senate and House websites, from agency-prepared forms and public hearings to the bicameral conference and final General Appropriations Bill or GAB before submission to the President. And I saw last few days ago rather, that the National Expenditure Program, which was submitted to the President, to our congressmen in the lower house and in the upper house, can be found on DBM's website. So all of the budget requests of all agent or government agencies is found there. So as you can see, all of the agencies request for budget can be found at the DBM's website. So that means transparency and accountability, because the budget is now open for the public to see, which agencies would like to see increase on their budget, and how much is the agencies going to spend for the next year. And also, those transparency and participative budget process will be the golden age of transparency and accountability. And Representative Swan Singh said there are ongoing talks between the House and the Senate, and a very close coordination with her counterpart in the Senate, which is the Finance Committee, which Senator Sherwin Gatchalian chairs, regarding the proposed reforms.
Front and center. Front and center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Let's leave the budget issue topic for now, but let's go here on the issue of still relevant issue on the flood control projects. As the Commission on Audit, or COA, has released a memorandum ordering the flood control projects in the Bulacan province, one of the provinces hit by the recent floods of the 3 storms that passed in our country, must undergo a fraud audit. Again, that's a fraud audit that the flood control projects in the Bulacan province must undergo a auditing process. Under a memorandum ordered by the Commission on Audit Chairperson Gamaliel Cordoba, all supervising auditors and audit team leaders of the Department of Public Works and Highways or DPWH district offices in Central Luzon or Region 3 are mandated to submit all relevant documents necessary for the fraud audit, and COA also ordered auditors of the said department to ensure the availability of their auditors to assist the fraud audit teams at any time during the audit. And that's in a bid to seek accountability for failed projects across the country. And a part of the COA memo issued on August 12 further said that given the critical issues raised by President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. Regarding the implementation of these projects, a fraud audit is an immediate and unequivocal necessity. Again, that's in line with President Marcos Jr.'s call to government, to national government, and also to Congress to initiate an investigation and find the truth behind these anomalous flood control projects. And also, the order covers flood control projects of the Department of Public Works and Highways or DPWH in the said province, which received 44 billion peso for flood control projects, accounting for the biggest share of funding in Region 3 with a whopping 45%. And according to Chairperson Cordoba, the audit is in line with President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s move to investigate alleged anomalies in the government's flood control programs amid persistent flooding across the country. So I hope this audit, or particularly the fraud audit, covers all projects across the nation, but not just the Central Luzon flood control projects, but all of the nation's flood control projects, which spearheaded by the Department of Public Works and Highways. And also, if you can recall, in his State of the Nation address or SONA last July, President Marcos Jr. called out government personnel who steal public funds, such as those for flood control projects, to have some shame. And as part of this call, the chief executive launched the website on flood control projects. He said 20% of the 545 billion peso budget for flood control projects was awarded to only 15% of contractors, 5 of whom have contracts across the country. So just imagine, half a trillion peso budget was only awarded to 15% of contractors. So that's I think that's 1 of 5 of contractors. So there's only a few contractors that receives this massive flood control projects, and also the budget for that. And also, he is also seeking explanation from St. Timothy Construction Corporation. I'm talking about President Marcos Jr.'s asking for explanation from the said contractor, which is St. Timothy Construction Corporation, regarding its supposed failed flood project in Kalumpit, Bulacan, which was hit by floods, with residents of several barangays forced to wade through flood waters for at least 2 weeks. I think the president is already checking out the flood control mechanism website, which the public can report. Those contractors that has projects in their area, whether if it's finished, unfinished, or about to start, or the project did not took place at all. So the president might visit those areas that has he mentioned during his press conference earlier. 2 weeks ago, rather, that those contractors, he will visit those provinces with flood control projects, and he will make those contractors accountable for those mismanaged flood control projects.
Front and center. Front and center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
And Front and Center will be right back with more issues to come and to discuss after these short messages.
Akala ko dati, sobrang mahal ng tablets. Pero dahil sa ASEAN, halos zero na ang buwis sa tech imports, kaya mas affordable na sa mga tulad kong estudyante.
Sa digitized custom system ng ASEAN, mas mabilis dumating ang mga learning gadgets. Mas konti ang delay, mas marami ang matututunan.
Mas madali na mag-source ng parts at accessories ngayon. Dahil sa trade agreements ng ASEAN, mas mabilis ang cross-border shipping at mas mura ang gastos.
Dahil sa mas malawak na internet sa ASEAN, kahit sa probinsya nakakabili na kami ng tech online. At maraming ASEAN-made products na good quality. Abot kaya pa.
ASEAN supports local innovation. Meron tayong mga hubs na tumutulong sa mga inventors at startups gaya ko para protektahan ang ideas at gawing negosyo.
Hindi ako techie pero ngayon marunong na ako magbayad at tumanggap ng QR gamit ang phone. Dahil sa ASEAN, mas accessible ang technology kahit sa maliliit na negosyo.
Dahil sa digital trade provisions ng ASEAN, mas maraming tech brands online. Nakaka-order ako ng gadgets at accessories na dati ay imported lang. Ngayon, mas mura at legal.
Dahil sa ASEAN, mas abot kaya ang tech, mas mabilis ang access, at mas maraming oportunidad para sa lahat.
Innovation across borders para sa bawat Pilipino.
Garantisadong solusyon at aksyon ang handog sa iyo ng bagong Pilipinas Presidential Action Center. Sundin lang ang mga sumusunod para makakuha ng appointment. Para sa wala pang eGov.ph app account, panoorin ang video para malaman kung paano gumawa ng account. Kung meron ng account sa eGov.ph app, mag-login dito. Saka hanapin ang online registration tab para sa bagong Pilipinas Presidential Action Center. Pindutin ito para makita ang available na government services. Piliin ang serbisyo na iyong kailangan mula sa listahan. I-upload ang requirements ng serbisyong kailangan mo. Pumili ng petsa at oras kung kailan nais pumunta sa bagong Pilipinas Presidential Action Center. I-submit na ang iyong application at bigyan ng pagkakataon na ma-review ang iyong isinumiting requirements. Hintayin ang QR code para sa kumpirmasyon ng iyong schedule. Makakatanggap ka ng text message para malaman kung naaprubahan ito. Sakaling hindi ito maaprubahan, makakatanggap ka rin ng text message para ipaalam ang kulang na requirements sa kasubukang mag-register ulit. Kung nakatanggap na ng kumpirmasyon, maaari nang pumunta sa bagong Pilipinas Presidential Action Center sa napiling schedule, dala ang QR code at ang mga isinumiteng requirements. Huwag kalimutang dumating sa itinakdang araw at oras ng iyong appointment. Pinapaalala rin na siguruhing may kumpirmadong schedule bago pumunta sa bagong Pilipinas Presidential Action Center para maiwasang magpabalik-balik. Simple at user-friendly ang pagpapa-appointment dito, kaya huwag nang mangamba dahil sa bagong Pilipinas Presidential Action Center, tulong ay abot kamay na.
Hindi na lang sa sariling bayan na ipapamalas ang talento ng Pilipino. Dahil sa ASEAN, umaabot na sa iba't ibang panig ng rehiyon ang sining natin, kinikilala, pinapakinggan at hinahangaan. Alam mo ba, mas marami na ang Filipino artist na naipapakita ang kanilang obra sa buong Southeast Asia dahil sa ASEAN.
I can't wait for ASEAN to create more programs that will encourage collaboration. I think what would be nice is meeting the past participants. ASEAN would be open to residencies not just for artists but also to writers, to art critics, to curators, to other cultural workers.
Sa ASEAN Artist Residency Program, ilang Pilipino na ang napiling lumikha ng sining sa Jakarta, Indonesia at ang kanilang likha bahagi na ngayon ng permanent collection ng ASEAN Gallery. Mayroon ding Connect ASEAN, isang art exchange program na gumagamit ng online at on-site exhibits sa mga palabas sa Manila, Jakarta at Busan. Tampok ang mga likha ng Filipino artist sa harap ng libu-libong manonood. At nitong 2024, tampok rin ang galing ng mga Filipino graphic artist sa ASEAN Graphic Arts Exhibition sa Vietnam, kasama ang higit 150 likha mula sa buong ASEAN. Pero higit pa sa pagpapamalas ng husay sa sining ang layunin ng ASEAN. Sa pamamagitan nito, nabubuo ang palitan ng kultura at ideya sa pagitan ng mga artist mula sa iba't ibang bansa. Mula rito'y sumisibol ang koneksyon, pagkakaibigan at mga obrang mas makabago, mas makulay at mas makahulugan. Dahil sa ASEAN, ang sining ng Pilipino ay hindi na lang para sa lokal na eksena. Ngayon, may entabladong regional, mas malawak, mas makulay at mas kinikilala.
center. Front and center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Welcome back to Front and Center here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service with me, Jerome Toledo. And we're trying to call the Commissioner of the Bureau of Customs, that's Commissioner Ariel Nepomuceno, and because we're going to talk about the issue regarding the online duty and tax calculator, because over the weekend that online duty and tax calculator were subject or was subject of the of the spotlight rather regarding this, because actress Bella Padilla posted on her ex, formerly Twitter account over the weekend because she wants to seek clarification after she was being charged double the tax for an online purchase. And she tweeted that she was charged 4,600 pesos in taxes for a shipment with an 11,000 peso value. She used the BOC's online calculator, which I think that's that can be found on BOC's website, and she used that calculator or tax calculator, and she should only be charged 1,650 pesos. But upon the review, it confirmed that the final assessment of duties and taxes on Padilla's shipment is correct, and because of that, because she found that that she was charged 4,600 peso in taxes, she tagged on her ex post that she tagged the BOC's X account, and she raised this concern regarding this tax or incorrect tax charges that was charged because she used the online tax calculator that was posted on the BOC's website. And upon the review, it confirmed that the final assessment of duties and taxes on Padilla's shipment is correct and based on the requirements of the Customs Modernization and Tariff Act, or CMTA, and related regulation. While the current calculator provides estimates, it does not yet reflect all lawful charges required by law, which may have led to misunderstanding when compared with the official statement. And rather this morning, I checked that BOC's website, and I checked the online tax calculator, and it was already taken down. And with that, Customs Commissioner Ariel Nepomuceno ordered the takedown of that online duty and tax calculator to avoid confusion, because as stated on Bella Padilla's tweet, she was overly charged of the taxes that was amounting to 4,600 pesos, while she should be only charged 1,650 pesos. And the BOC acted swiftly on this concern of Padilla, and they took down the online duty and tax calculator, and he directed that the calculator be temporarily removed until enhancements are completed, and the upgraded systems will provide a clearer and more comprehensive breakdown, ensuring that all applicable charges are properly reflected. And the BOC is also developing an improved version of the calculator that will be updated regularly to reflect prevailing rates and give the public a more transparent picture of their total dues. To be honest, when I checked their website, it's that calculator has been taken down, and I would like and at the same time, we don't have Commissioner Nepomuceno on the line right now, but because I want to ask him what constitutes on that online duty and tax calculator, how it is being used, how the tax are being computed, and something like that, so that the public will have a knowledge regarding the usage of that platform. And also, the BOC is also developing an improved version of the calculator that will be updated regularly to reflect prevailing rates and give the public a more transparent picture of their total dues. In the meantime, the Customs Bureau respects and expresses support in voicing out the people's concern and grievances, as it commends Miss Padilla for raising her point calmly and professionally. Constructive feedback like this helps the Bureau strengthen transparency and better serve the public. And BOC is committed to transparency, accuracy, and continuous improvement in our processes. As Commissioner Nepomuceno apologized for any confusion this may have caused and thank the public for their feedback, which helps them serve better.
Front and center. Front and center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
And we'll try to discuss more of that issue, particularly on the BOC in the next few days. But in the meantime, the Department of Migrant Workers, or DMW, has requested Congress for a 2 billion peso increase in its proposed budget for next year. The Marcos Junior administration has requested Congress to grant DMW a total of a 10.2 billion peso budget next year to meet the growing workforce and infrastructure requirements, as well as expanded reintegration services for overseas Filipino workers. And 10.2 billion peso budget was significantly higher compared to agency's proposed 8.5 billion peso budget under the 2025 National Expenditure Program. And it's enacted 8.08 billion peso budget under the 2025 General Appropriations Act, or the national budget for this year. And the proposed additional funds will also be used to finance the capital outlay of DMW's attached agencies, namely the National Maritime Polytechnic and the OFW Hospital in Pampanga, as well as their efforts to increase the beneficiaries of their reintegration programs. And furthermore, 496 million peso is being requested since we're now talking about the OFW Hospital. DMW is requesting 496 million peso budget for OFW Hospital, which it will use to expand its bed capacity and establish treatment facilities, including a new cancer care center. And under the 2026 NEP documents uploaded in the Department of Budget and Management website, the expenditure program for personal services, or PS, of the DMW Office of the Secretaries at around 2.46 billion pesos, while the capital outlay, or CO, is at 587,619,000 pesos, while its maintenance and other operating expenses, or MOOE, is at 2.98 billion pesos. And as for the agency's agarang kalinga sa mga OFW na nangangailangan, or Action Fund, which is used to provide legal, medical, financial, and other essential support services to its clients, the fund has retained its 1.2 billion peso allocation under the proposed budget of the Migrant Workers Department. And the NEP is the proposed budget of the executive branch of the government, which it submits to Congress and used as the basis for the crafting of the GAA for the fiscal year. And also on the news on the Department of Economy, Planning and Development, the Marcos administration has recalibrated its development roadmap for the second half of its term with the release of the midterm update of the Philippine Development Plan 2023 to 2028, published by the DepDev on last Friday. The updated plan builds on the country's hard-earned gains while enhancing the economy's ability to navigate shifting trends and respond to emerging domestic and global challenges. DepDev Secretary Arsenio Balisacan emphasized that the updated plan refines the administration's strategies under its transformation agenda through priority actions that aim to develop or to boost productivity rather, across economic sectors, accelerate innovation and human capital development, generate high-quality jobs, and promote infrastructure development in support of the country's long-term vision, which is the Ambition Plan or Ambition Natin 2040. And the updated plan features sectoral accomplishments and progress in implementing the government's transformation agenda together with updated strategy frameworks, targets, and results matrices, as well as legislative priorities for the medium term. It also draws from policy lessons learned from the past 3 years and introduces strategic imperatives to reposition the Philippine economy amid global shifts. So, meaning to say, the DepDep is creating programs like this to further enhance and develop our economy despite the challenges brought about by the tariffs. Update underscores the need for strategic, coordinated, and responsive policy interventions to reinforce the foundations of a strong and resilient economy. And as a planning tool, as it's DepDep stated, it will serve as the government's blueprint for completing critical reforms and pursuing priority actions, and aims to shape budgeting, investment programming, and legislative priorities throughout the remainder of the administration.
Front and Center. Front and Center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
And now we conclude this edition of Front and Center together with Radyo Pilipinas World Service team, which is the production team and technical personnel. This is your host, Jerome Toledo. Until next time, mabuhay.
You have just heard and watched Front and Center. Front and Center. Join us again for another edition here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Front and Center.